Welcome back, guys. This is Alon, and this is AcornProductions. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be another quick recap of essentially what's going on with our portfolio here this week. This is a community portfolio, and for all of those following, thank you very much for the support. As you can see here, we've closed off August. It's been our worst month yet, so we haven't hit double digits losses, just negative 8% for last month. It's been a bad month. There has been a lot of stop losses, as we touched on essentially last week. And what I'm very curious to see is what's actually going to happen at the end of the rebalance period. So at the end of this month, have the stop losses actually saved us money, or have they cost us money? And that's going to be a very sort of interesting thing to observe, the Bitcoin holding aside. That's really just part of the strategy. But, is the stop loss something that we do want to implement in the future? Do we want to tweak them? Or is it something that, you just want to roll with the punches and hold the good businesses through the good times and the bad? I'll touch on that later. Let's have a quick, essentially look what the portfolio is looking like at the moment. We have it organized, the remaining positions. We have our top positions at the moment. The only ARK fund that's really still going, we've got one ARK fund here at the bottom, but we've only got two still open, guys, of the ARK funds. We've got SOX, so the semiconductor ETF, doing very well. Berkshire Hathaway just trotting along, doing very, very well. This is the market, guys. So this is the S&P 500. This is what the market is doing, 6.5%. So everything else, I guess, is possibly underperforming. Remember, there's multiple holdings in here. Here we have Apple come back up. I think Apple was negative before. Moat, very good ETF. Google, classic. Here we have our ETFs doing well. Amazon doing well as well. Yeah, Microsoft, not much to expect. Here we have, stuff that we have in our reserves, they're doing as well as honestly would expect. Silver outperforming gold, interestingly enough. Very, very interesting. And then we have just cash, essentially, paying us a bit of dividends. And ETH and Bitcoin are not doing too well for us at the moment. Cryptocurrency has been bleeding quite hard recently, so they've given up a lot of their ground. And this ARK fund looks like it's still holding on. So essentially we want to see what happens at the end of the month. We want to rebalance, retweak our portfolio. We want to essentially sell a bunch of this at the end of the month. It's going to be an interesting month for Bitcoin. I'm very curious to see what happens. And yeah, let's have a little look. So the next thing I want to touch on, guys, as we progress forward, we did add stop losses last month, and I just want to show two examples of two things that have triggered the stop loss to see how it's exactly worked. So the first one is Coinbase. So Coinbase has recently had some good news. And I want you guys to look at this red line here. So this is where our stop loss triggered, just below 80. So, we were holding. Remember, Coinbase was doing very, very well, ridiculously well. We bought it at 50. It was booming up to the top here. And, maybe I should have sold up here, nobody knows. And essentially, it just started really consistently going down and doing heavy losses for a month. We did actually rebalance somewhere around here. We halved our position, which helped us a bit because at one point Coinbase was going so well. It was 10% of our portfolio. But yeah, as it declined down, we can see the stop loss got triggered here. And then it continued to go down, so it did save us a bit. There was some, I guess, good perceived news about Coinbase possibly winning something, but as far as I can tell, nothing is solid as of yet with the ETFs. And essentially at the moment, with this particular example, the stop loss did sort of help us. Now, I want to show you guys the next example. This is Tesla. So Tesla actually triggered at 220. You can see this red line sort of represents our stop loss. And we lost around 20%. Let's have a look what it was. Yeah, 15 to 20% on Tesla. So if we go back here, let's say we bought around here, and you can see a very sharp drop, like a very strong sell-off. We saved a little bit for a few days, but it immediately recorrected, and it's already essentially back to where we were. So this one has been a huge essentially 15 to 20% loss for nothing. Just holding the position would have recovered. Tesla looks like it's going to continue on the upwards trend. So we're going to reassess at the end of the month. But this is a very interesting example of, possibly an example of why we wouldn't want to set stop losses. So I want to essentially calculate at the end of the month what the actual influence of the stop loss is, because there's some term, I feel like, with market manipulators where there is a sell-off, people could just be, you know, it is possible to buy order flow. It is possible for people with a lot more money to see what people are trading, to see where people have stop losses, and essentially to intentionally sell off to buy more stocks. So people that manipulate the market could sell a lot of money, you know, could use a lot of money to sell off stock, reduce the price, trigger stop losses to create an even more downward shift, and then rebuy at a cheaper price. And this is something that I am concerned about, that could be a particular risk if I'm setting, you know, 10-15% stop losses, that people could go like stop loss hunting, you know. So I think if a company is very volatile like Tesla, this might be something that you might just want to do a smaller position and not set a stop loss at all, because it could be something that, you know, look at this is very unfortunate. But we're going to assess all of them at the end of the month. We're going to do a little bit of a bigger video. And just to wrap this video up, guys, let's have a look at one of our core holdings at the moment, Bitcoin, here on eToro. Now, this is where we are at the moment. We had a little spike here with some good news, but essentially we can see sort of these three main categories. I'm very interested to see what will happen in this next month of September for Bitcoin. Personally, I don't think it's going to go down, but it's really just a thought. I'm very curious to see. I'm personally a big believer in Bitcoin. I want to let you guys know that I want to start making additional videos now. One of the videos I want to start making is why I believe in Bitcoin. I feel like a lot of people think Bitcoin had its run, Bitcoin is over, Bitcoin is dead. Like, I talk to people, and, you know, it's not something I talk about in the real world, you know, Bitcoin, but I genuinely don't think it's going anywhere unless it actually malfunctions, breaks down. There's something that happens, which, if you think about it, people have been trying to take this currency down for a very long time. So, you know, past something like that happening, Bitcoin is fundamentally important. It's like a proof of a concept that can really revolutionize the world. Bitcoin is just a store of value, but cryptocurrency, and more importantly blockchain technology, has so many applications, and Bitcoin has really showed, like black and white, that it's decentralized. You can't stop it. It's a global currency. There's literally governments adopting it as their main currency, and it's something that can be trusted, you know, for people to interact with. There is a lot of, you know, personal risk with creating wallets and scams and all of these things because it's deregulated, but fundamentally it's a great proof of concept. And I want to make a video about it. Now, guys, I really appreciate if you're tuning in. I really want to know if you guys have any suggestions, you know, what we want in our reserves, in our chest, in our horns. We're going to build this over time. At the moment, to be honest with you guys, the portfolio is not doing as well as I hoped. We did sort of want to finish the year, you know, above the market, you know, 20%. But let's see how it goes. The year's not over. We've got a solid 4 months to go. And we're just warming up here. We're not going anywhere. We're going to learn from our mistakes. We're going to own our mistakes. And more importantly, we're going to perfect our strategy over time as we continue to go. You know, this is not a short-term game. Investing is the long-term game. And I'm very excited here for what we're going to accomplish. So I'll catch you all next time. It's been a pleasure.